Good afternoon and welcome to the weekly weather briefing for Thursday, October 3rd, 2019. Here's the situation overview. Generally, light rainfall amounts that are expected at times through Monday will likely provide little relief to the recent dry spell and drought conditions. Burn bans have expanded across much of Louisiana and now include all in Mississippi. And we do have D0 drought conditions in portions of southeast Louisiana and South Mississippi, and I'll explain that later. No tropical systems are expected to impact the North Gulf Coast over the next 5 days. Continued above normal hot temperatures, and in some cases record hot temperatures, are expected through the weekend. But then somewhat cooler temperatures and lower humidity do arrive next week in the wake of a cold frontal passage that we expect Monday. Here's the tropical weather outlook. For the next 5 days, we just have one disturbance in the Northwest Caribbean Sea that has a low chance of developing as it crosses Yucatan Peninsula into the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. However, no impacts are expected to the North Gulf Coast region. Forecast precipitation amounts over the next week or so, generally light, although better than the zero amounts we've seen in many areas over the last few weeks. But still, these amounts are on the order of maybe as much as 1/10 of an inch, maybe up to 1/4 to 1/2 inch in some areas. Here's the map of burn bans in Louisiana. It does include 3 parishes in southeast Louisiana: Livingston, Tangipahoa, and Washington. And also all of Mississippi is included in the burn bans. Here's from last month. We see that it was unusually warm and dry. In fact, in some cases for New Orleans, Macomb, and Gulfport, it was the warmest September on record. And in the case of New Orleans and Macomb, it was also the driest September on record. You can see that rainfall of less than 2/10 of an inch occurred during the whole month for both New Orleans and Macomb. Because of all this dry weather depicted, you see the Drought Monitor here. The D0 means abnormally dry conditions over a good part of the area, and this is likely to get worse with this area expanding over the next few weeks. That is depicted in this drought tendency or drought outlook that we see for the month of October, with drought development likely over a good portion of South Mississippi into Louisiana. Just to show the temperature trends, these highs that are forecast for tomorrow, Friday, are very similar to what we've seen over the last few days, with temperatures well up into the 90s, many areas in the mid-90s. Wouldn't be surprised to see another area, few spots touching 97 again, perhaps tomorrow, just like we're seeing today. However, finally behind the cold front, going ahead to next week on Tuesday, looks like we should see highs down mostly in the lower 80s come Tuesday, with the lower humidity as well, which will feel much better. And this is a little bit closer to normal for this time of year. So once again, here's the summary of impacts, and I'll leave this up here for you to read. Thank you very much for joining us for the weekly weather briefing, and have a great rest of the week and weekend.